morning, children. How are you? We are learning storage of water in our EVS, correct? In last period, we have already started with the old systems to store the water. What all systems we have seen? We have seen that there were wells, draw wells, then the water tanks in the fort, as well as the bunds were constructed on the rivers, as well as there were old reservoirs and old tanks which were called as haud. Correct? Today we are going to see the recent systems of storing water. What are the recent systems or the modern systems to store the water? So children, the first and very common and very famous, very useful system is the dams. Okay, so what are the dams? The dams are barrier or a big thick wall which is constructed to hold back water and raise its level to form a reservoir. Okay, do you see this picture? Do you see there is a wall, a big thick wall? Okay, because of this wall the water is held back, okay, and a reservoir is formed, correct? So this is called as dam. Let us read. The most important of all recent water storage is the dam. Dams made it possible to store huge quantities of water. As a result, more land was brought under cultivation. Cities began to grow. It became possible to set up factories and generate electricity. Maharashtra has several large dams such as Jayakwadi, Koyna, Ujjini and Yaldari. Okay, so children, as you know, water is the basic need of all human beings. So wherever the water reservoir is in a good quantity, people used to settle in that area. So wherever the dams are built, the cities began to grow, correct? The maximum land was brought under cultivation and it became possible to set up the factories and generate electricity. Okay, so in our Maharashtra there are several large dams: Jayakwadi, Koyna, Ujjini and Yaldari. Let us see the pictures of these dams. Jayakwadi Dam. Do you know where is this? It is in Paitan. See, such a beautiful dam. Do you see the big wall of this dam? And behind the wall, what do you see? A big reservoir of water. Nice blue color water, right? So this is Jayakwadi Dam at Paitan in Aurangabad district. Let us see Koyna Dam. You must have heard about Koyna Dam as it is not far from Pune. In Satara district, we'll see Koyna Dam, which is in Koyna Nagar. See, this is the wall of Koyna Dam and behind the wall you will see the big reservoir of water. Okay, so this is Koyna Dam. Ujjini Dam. Ujjini Dam is in Solapur district. Do you see such a big dam? The wall of the dam is too big and behind the wall you will see the reservoir. The water is held back, or because of the wall the water is stored behind the wall and it has formed a big reservoir and the extra water is flowing at the another side of the wall. Yaldari Dam. Yaldari Dam is in Parbhani. Okay, do you see the wall of the dam? And behind the wall there is a big reservoir of the water and extra water is flowing at another end or at another part of the wall. So these are some of the famous and very big dams in Maharashtra. Let us see what are the borewells. So borewell is another system to store the water. What is a borewell? See this. Do you see this picture? A deep narrow well for water that is drilled into the ground. and it is equipped with a pump to draw water to the surface. So, do you see this picture? There is a rod behind. So, this rod we have to move up and down. Because of this motion, the air pressure will be created and the water will be drawn up to the surface, and this water will flow through the tap. Do you see there is a tap? Okay, and the water is flowing through the tap. So this way the bore well, this is not actually the well which we have seen in last lecture. These wells are very narrow but very deep. Okay, so let us read. Earlier, wells were dug to reach the water under the ground, but it was not possible to draw deep-seated groundwater. Now, with the help of electric pumps, it is possible to do so. Borewells are dug for this purpose. So, children, you understood for what borewells are dug? They are dug to draw deep-seated groundwater. Okay, and so the bore wells are deeper and deeper and they are narrow. These wells are very deep but very narrow. Okay, so let us see one more picture. Here is a truck. What is it doing? They are actually constructing the bore well. Do you see a big long pipe? This pipe will be inserted into the ground and it will construct a bore well under the ground. Okay, so this is the way they construct the bore well, and the bore well exactly looks like this. Okay, let us see what is Panpoi. See here, the picture is given in your book. People out on the roads need water when they are thirsty. In some places, big clay jars of drinking water are kept for the use of such people. This water is offered free of charge. This is known as Panpoi. So you understood? In big jars, they are clay jars. The water is stored and this water is distributed free of charge. For the people who are thirsty, they can drink the water from these jars. So this is called as Panpoi. Panpois are set up by individuals or institutions. Panpois are very useful, especially in summer. Okay, so these panpois are set up by some institutions or by some individual people, which are very useful in summer. Okay, let us see few more panpois. See, this is typical panpoi which is made of clay jars. Okay, and there is also a pot kept to take the water out from these jars. As well as this is little modern type of panpoi where the plastic jars are used and the name, the individual name who had started this panpoi is written on this board. So, Shri Banduji Ingole had started this panpoi on his own. Okay. See, there is one more panpoi and typical jars of clay are kept and there are also the taps to these jars. So using the tap, people can take the water in the glasses and they can drink it. So during summer, these panpois are very much useful. So children, have you understood? The modern way to store the water is dams and the other way is bore wells. Okay. So what have we learnt in this lesson? Traditional methods of water storage, modern methods of water storage, and economical use of water. You have to remember, water is a natural resource. All living things need water. We must keep this in mind when we use water. So, we have to use water very carefully. We are not supposed to waste the water because it is useful for all living things. Okay? Now, there is an activity. Find out the location of Koina Dam and Jayakwadi Dam using the Google map. Okay, so you are going to use your Google map and find the location of Koina Dam and Jayakwadi Dam. As well, there is one more activity. Name any 4 dams in Pune district. You have to name any 4 dams in Pune district. Please write these names in your notebook. Okay, you must have made a notebook of geography. In that notebook you will write the names of dams in Pune district, and you have to find the location of Koina Dam and Jayakwadi Dam on Google Map. You need not write it in any book. You just have to use internet and find the location. It is just for your information. You don't have to write anything about it in the notebook or on any paper. Just find the location on Google Map using the internet. Is it clear? Thank you, children.